Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. A man's options are impacted by his social class. And you know, I've been talking more and more about social class and culture, subculture, along those lines because, like I said, relationships, it's about relating. You can have all the money, you can have all the status, shoot, you can look like a fashion model, you can be built like an alpha showpiece, shout out cousin T-Talk, and you still don't relate to that person. You still gotta relate, that's still an important part. Social class has well, I ain't gonna say a prime, but a major effect on who you can relate to. So if you're talking about a man's options, they are impacted by his social class. See, a lot of times, like, you know, you get stuff out here say, oh, there's this many women to this number of men. Okay, what about within the social class? And I've talked about subcultures before, but I'll just focus on social class now. You know, say if that man is he has 2 degrees, he's a professional. You know, he got a college degree, he has a law degree, MBA, he's a doctor or something. Even though somebody would say, well, he's the top of the list, he can get any woman he wants. Now let's make him handsome. Let's make him handsome. Let's make him somebody who follows Rom's body game philosophy. Okay, he got all that stuff. He still is limited. He's still limited by his social class because of his mindset, who he is, what he's about. He can't just grab any woman off the street. He can't grab like that ratchet woman. If he does anything other than be polite to her, if she says hi to him, yeah, something's up with him. Shoot, that's a come up for her, that's a come down for him. Or even working class. Like, let me use that now. Yeah, there's some great working class ladies out there for a working class guy because it's a mindset. You got a professional who's educated going to be looking at things a certain way versus someone's working class. Now, yes, of course, there's going to be some relationships out there like that it happens because, first of all, when we're talking about relationships, it's not a science, it's an art. There's always going to be exceptions, but for the most part, with that man who got the degree, got all this going on and stuff, would he be able to click with that particular woman? Would they be looking at the same things? You know, are they going to watch the same type of shows? He might want to watch like the news programs and everything, documentaries. You know, he might want to go to seminars and something where they sharing some like valuable knowledge. You know, he could be an MBA. He wants to go to like seminars where they're talking business. He could be an attorney. He wants to go to seminars where they're talking new legal happenings and stuff. She wants to watch the latest reality show. How's that gonna work out? Like if he's serious. Now, if he just wanna hit the skins, oh, you know what? A man who wants to hit the skins, shoot, he got a smorgasbord out here. He got a smorgasbord. But as I've said before, every man ain't trying to be a player. In fact, and many content creators have said this, and I agree, a man needs to be focused on his purpose. And let's just be real out here. If a man ain't making money, even though I'm saying don't lead with your wallet, a woman only gonna deal with him for so long and everything. She only gonna deal with him for so long. Like for sex, yeah, shoot, she'll deal with him for a long time. But we're talking relationships now. We're talking relationships. Let me be clear with that. You know, if you just want sex, you don't need money for that. You talking about relationships, you're talking about a lifestyle and everything. So, you know, your money is going to contribute to whatever lifestyle you live. All right, so you live in a certain lifestyle. You might not want to go certain areas, certain places and everything, you know? You might not want to go visit, you might not want to go pick her up in the hood or that trailer park and stuff. And now, yeah, it happens with some guys, but you know, what they want, they just want the sex. And indeed might be, you know, using that money as a lure. But when we're talking about relationships, somebody serious, a man serious about finding a woman who is in cooperation to his operation, no, he is limited because he needs to find somebody who he can have that conversation with. We're talking relationships now. Let's get out the bedroom. And yeah, I know y'all hearing that from me, and I promote like sexual development. But we're talking about relationships. We're talking day in, day out. What's the money consciousness? You know, someone who's more upper class, professional and stuff, shoot, they got different money consciousness because they're making it. They're making it and stuff. They had to work to get there. Their consciousness is different. They probably had to save and sacrifice versus somebody who, as soon as they get paid, that money's already going out the door. You know, that money's lasting 15 minutes in their account and they're already buying stuff and everything. Very important. And I've talked about this on my money channel, an abundance consciousness versus a poverty consciousness. And that's a big thing with these social classes. Indeed, I would argue, even debate, you know, one of the reasons that people, you know, the more upper class, rich and wealthy, they're making that money, you know, and I'm saying for the average person, not the superstars or entertainers making that money, but the person who had to work to get there, they have a wealth consciousness, you know, whereas some people in lower classes, you know, even if they're working all the time, they might not have that same consciousness. Their tendency is to get the money and spend the money, not to make the money work for them. So it's a difference. It's a difference there. Like if a man is serious, he can't, if he's looking at, like if a serious man, a successful man, a man who got to where he is through hard work, through education, building his business, sacrificing, say he go into a room with 100 women. And you know what? Let's make it fun. All of them are fine. All of them very attractive. He still can't deal with all of them if he's serious. Now, if he don't care, he just wants sex, oh yeah, he can deal with who he wants. But if he wants a serious relationship, he wants a partner, he wants a wife, he wants the mother of his children, oh, he gotta be thinking about it, because when you're talking about relationships, it ain't just how physically attracted you are to a person. You get some people thinking they just stop there. That's because they haven't gotten into the relationships. It's about the value system. What do you value? You know, where are you going to live? You know, what kind of schools you want to send your children to? Do you even want to have children? You know, what do you do in your free time? Like I said, you get a lot of people, a lot of men who making money, they professionals, shoot, they want to go to seminars, they want to read books or something. What if they deal with a woman, you know, because of her class background, education background and stuff, she don't like to read. Oh, how that's going to work? He want to put a bookcase in his place. Shoot, she might not even want to put any like art or anything. She want to hit those stores and get that the latest shoes or something. Get those red bottom shoes. Indeed, when you get a lot of women out here, they talking about they want that 6-figure man. They thinking about the lifestyle, the clothes and everything. They ain't thinking about just living, period, and stuff, you know? And like I said, it comes down to what you want to talk about, what y'all looking at. You know, can you talk politics with her? Can you talk about the economy with her? Oh, these are very important things. These are important for a man who's serious. Like I said, and I will emphasize, if a man just wants sex, the sky's the limit, literally. Even if he just limited to just physically attractive women, the sky is the limit. But if he's serious about a relationship, oh, it depends on what class he's in. And let me, a deeper thing with that class, and I'll probably do some videos on this in the future, you know, what type of women you even have access to. What type of women? Like say you that like hard working blue collar type of man. Do you have real access to those more upper class women? You might think they're more attractive or something. Do you have access? Are you going to be in the same places they're going to be? You going to join the same gym they working out at? You going to go to the same art shows and everything? You know, because what if by your class, by what you're doing, there's no shame in being working class, but what if you just about, you know what, you're going to go to work, you're going to come home, you want to chill, you want to be at that barbecue with Uncle Junior and them and stuff, you know, but you meet a woman and she wants to go with, you know, she wants to go to a nice dinner party with Uncle Bart and his associates. Peep how I just said all of that. And them versus his associates. Think about that. Even the communication could be kind of different. So that's the thing. So if a man's options, depending on where he is, now say he's at the total bottom. Oh, his options extremely limited and stuff. His options are extremely limited, even if he's physically attractive. So that's the thing. Social class has to be talked about more. Let me shout out Master Teacher BGS for the work he's done and the research he's done talking about the octane models, both male and female. That's very important. You can't have in fact, and I've quoted several times George Sabiro, who wrote this book, Money Issues in Black Male-Female Relationships. Any conversation about relationships that don't take into account class is a joke. It is, it really is, you know? Like if I'm listening to somebody talk or, you know, I might be like, oh, where are you from? You know, class and everything. That's going to affect it. That's going to affect it because, as I've always pointed out, everybody's not behaving on the same level. Because remember, I said even attraction. Shout out Tornado said this, is biology filtered by culture. Social class is culture. How you gonna behave, what you gonna respond to and everything. So yeah, you're gonna have that physical attraction, but then there's also the cultural thing. Indeed, I'm gonna tell you what, that's why, especially in the more upper classes, but lower classes too, you know, just real quick, because you know, there's so much emphasis on looks and everything, but what if the guys who look a certain way for the women are just in a certain social class? They might not be able to get that, you know, if we use a number system, 10. What if the guys in their particular class measure out at a 6 at best? Well, guess what? They'll be the ones that get it and stuff. So that's the thing. I mean, in social class, let me just say this. And I'm gonna re-emphasize that quote from George Sabiro. And even though he was talking about black male-female relationships, this impacts all relationships. I don't care where it is on the planet. It's always impacted by social class. Now, in this particular video, I'm talking about the men. You gotta think about that as a man. You gotta think about that. Who are you gonna deal with? What's your educational level and everything? What's your actual social class? Even if you started out one place, but maybe you worked your way into the other one, and trust me, it's more than just the money that gets you there. It's more than just the money. It's a deep thing. It's a deep thing, way deeper. Any sociologist who's actually studied social classes professionally will agree with that statement. It's deeper than people just think. It ain't even just about the money. Because quite frankly, let me just end with this. Because it's a very important point. You have blue collar men who make significantly more than some professionals. I'd never forget, like back in the early 2000s, rented out places, you know, like me and my wife had we had 5 degrees between us. But we renting out places from, one was a guy who was just a bus driver. He saved his money, just bought our property. Another guy was an electrician. You know, him and his wife were electricians. They were blue collar, but they were living in a mini mansion, and he had multiple properties. Let me say it again, multiple properties and everything. So their money was blown away like a lot of professionals and stuff. But that's why I say class is not just the money. People think it's just the money. No, it's not just the money. That's why you got, even you got some entertainers or pro athletes or something, they can get millions, but they still lower class in their mindset. No, classes be social behavior, value system, things of that nature, even physically how you're doing yourself. Let me just say that real quick. Like I said, I could really go off on this, but let's look at the women. Let's look at the women in the community. I'll use the black community because there's a big thing with hair weaves and stuff like that. The more upper class the woman, less likely you're gonna find a hair weave. The more upper class she is in the black community, less likely. I ain't saying it's impossible, but less likely. or have her hair colored or all that stuff, even if she got money, because it's a social thing. So anyway, though, that's all I have for today. Get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.